This is my last Finn story. Now, I do have a few more, but I'm going to finish with this. And it was the last time Finn decided to get married. They were away in Leinster. The Fionn were in Leinster, and Oisin found Finn on his own, looking very lonely. And he said to him, "Father, what is that's ailing you, but you're very unhappy?" And Finn said, "Since I lost Una, I can't sleep. I'm so cold and so lonely at night." Now, he could have had a hot water bottle, that might have solved it. But Oisin said to him, "Well, Father, if that is what is ailing you, I will help you find a wife." So they stayed in Leinster for a little while, and Finn one day spotted this beautiful woman, and he said to his men, "Who is that?" And they said, "That is Grania, Princess Grania, the daughter of Cormac. She is as knowledgeable as she is beautiful." And Finn thought, "That's the woman I'm going to marry." So he said to Oisin, "I want you to go to King Cormac and ask for his daughter's hand in marriage." And he thought, well, if he turns him down, then it won't look bad on Finn because Finn wasn't there. Now, you might say we wee bit of a card in doing that. Anyway, Oisin goes to the king, and the king says to him, "Well, I don't know if she'll marry Finn. She's turned down many men, younger, fitter, wiser than Finn, but we'll go and see her." So they went to see her, and now Grania wasn't a bit happy that Finn didn't come himself to ask her, that he sent other people. She sort of felt, he should have had the guts to come and ask me himself, but to let it go. And his father explained, and he said, "Now, what do you want to do?" And she said, "Well, Father, do you think this is the man for me?" At this point, Finn had seen her, but she hasn't seen Finn. So the father said, "Well, I do. I think Finn would be a good marriage." And the father was thinking with his head because it would help him to have the Fianna defending him. So he said he thought it would be a good marriage. He says, "Well, if you think he's the right man for me, Daddy, I'll go and marry him." So great preparations were made for the wedding, and Finn brought the Fianna and everybody he could think of to the wedding, big feast. And at the wedding, Grania was sitting there looking around her, and she spotted this gorgeous man. Now, he was gorgeous. His name was Dermot, and Dermot had a little spot here. It was a love spot. And it meant that everybody who saw Dermot fell in love with him. And she fell in love with him. And she decided there and then that she couldn't marry Finn. And she said to her father, "I don't want to marry Finn. He's even older than you, Daddy. I can't marry him. He's far too old." And the king said, "Well, you've agreed to it now and you can't back out." So she thought and thought. So she sent for her maidservant and she said, "I want you to bring the big golden goblet and I want to fill it with wine for everybody." So she did. And then Grania put a sleeping potion in it. And she gave it to Finn first. And she said to the maid, "Don't give it to Dermot. You leave him out." So when they were all asleep, she goes to Dermot and she said, "I need you to take me out of here tonight. I love you. I want to marry you." And he said, "No, I can't. I'm one of the Fianna. And you're betrothed to Finn. I can't." And she said, "But you have to." And he said, "No." And then she said, "I am going to put you under a curse that you have to take me. You're bonded that you have to take me." That's what it was. And he went and he talked to the druids and said, "Now you're going to have to take her." So he took her and they escaped. But he said to her, "I will never make love to you and never love you because I am loyal to Finn." So they headed off on horses, and then he thought, well, Finn will find the horses. He'll follow the horses. So they got off and they went by foot, and they followed rivers, and they swam, and did anything to avoid Finn following them. And they thought they'd be okay, but Finn was a fine man, but he held a grudge. And he searched and searched for Grania, because he still believed that Grania would marry him. And one day they were out hunting, and Dermot was out hunting too, but Dermot was gored by a wild boar. And Finn came across him and could have saved him with water. And Finn went and got water from the well, and he came over, and as he was looking at Dermot, he let it all flow through his fingers because he kept thinking, "I need to marry Grania, I need to marry Grania." And went again, came back with more water, let it all flow through. Third time, he came back and he was going to give it to Dermot, but sure, Dermot was dead. And some people say that Grania died of a broken heart. Some people say Grania then made up with Finn and went off with Finn. I like to think she stood by her principles and stayed on her own and looked after herself and never married that old man. So Finn, in his younger days, I think, probably, was lucky with women. And then, like us all, as he got older, he had less luck. And I was thinking about Finn, and I was thinking about Cuchulainn, because Cuchulainn I always think of as more of a fighter. Finn did fight, but he was witty, and he could outdo people, whereas Cuchulainn was all, let's go and have a fight. So I wrote a song about that, and part of it is about Grania as well. So here's how it goes. Finn McCool was a wise, brave man, a leader of men, a father of sons, and a lover of women. He could lead his men into battle, he could fight, spin a spell with his words, he could fool the giants and outwit the dragons. Not for him the murder and mayhem of Cuchulainn, that hound of Ulster, that lover of fame. If he was here today, he'd be on Big Brother or up in Stormont playing games. Finn was not afraid to suck his thumb, and why not? It gave him knowledge no one else had. He earned that right, living a life surrounded by magic. Not for him the murder and mayhem of Cuchulainn, that hound of Ulster, that lover of fame. If he was here today, he'd be on Big Brother or up in Stormont playing games. In old age, Finn married 3 times. In old age, Finn still believed that Grania would love him forever. With all his wisdom and married 3 times, he found out that she loved him never. Not for him the murder and mayhem of Cuchulainn, that hound of Ulster, that lover of fame. If he was here today, he'd be on Big Brother or up in Stormont playing games. Now he lies along the coulees, majestic in death as he was in life. His deeds will go on forever. Not for him the murder and mayhem of Cuchulainn, that hound of Ulster, that lover of fame. If he was here today, he'd be on Big Brother or up in Stormont playing games. Just goes to show you that no matter how much wisdom we have, when it comes to love, we can all be fools. Thank you. Bye.